Welcome back. Guess what? We finally hit 1,000 subscribers, and it's all thanks to you. You who have subscribed to our channel, you who are watching this video right now, thank you so much. The Carebox entire family appreciates you so much. Now, this 1,000 subscribers, I am super excited, and I know that this was the beginning. We are going fast. So yeah, if you haven't subscribed to the Carebox Center channel, please do so right now. If you have subscribed, please, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Today we're going to be talking about something very interesting, something very controversial. We're going to be talking about house helps, aka nannies. If you have a house help, you are applying to have a house help, or you have a house help right now, then you need to watch this video to the very end, because we're going to be talking about very important things. We're going to be talking about red flags. We're going to be talking about things you can do, to onboard your nanny. So make sure you watch this video to the very end. So I'm going to start with the personal story, right? I was one of those people that were anti-house helps. Like, I had heard so many stories about things that house helps have done and things that they do, and I just made up my mind that whenever I got married or had kids, I was not going to have any house helps. And it started out like that, right? Throughout the first maybe 3-4 years of marriage, we didn't have any house help. I had my first child, we still didn't have any house help. But by the time the second child came, nobody told me. nobody had to tell me. I just had to call my mom and said, "Mommy, please help me get a house help," right? Because the truth is, you're only human at the end of the day. There's only so much you can do. And even though you might not want to get a house help, sometimes you need to get one, especially when you don't have family around you. When maybe you have family around, maybe your sister is staying around, or your cousin or somebody, there's somebody to help. But in situations whereby maybe you are working, you have a 9-to-5 or a business, your husband is working, your partner is working, and there's nobody around, what do? You have no choice but to get a house help, right? So I'm going to be talking about a couple of lessons I've learned along the way. First thing you must do is onboard your house help, just like you were onboarded when you started a new job, and they took you through what was expected of you, took you through how to use softwares and certain tools. It's the same way you need to onboard your house help. Take them through what your expectations are. If you don't want them to use a phone when they're taking care of your child or children, let them know you do not use a phone from maybe 7 to 8, and then you can use a phone after that. If you don't want them to spank your child or speak badly to your child, you need to let them know, I do not want you to hit my child. I do not want you to insult or speak badly to my child, to your child, right? So all these things are very important. I would advise you to even have a handbook somewhere, that if your house help is educated. If they are not, just make sure that you constantly tell them, these are my expectations. If you want them to maybe use certain type of detergent to wash clothes for the kids, or this is how you want them to wash clothes for your kids, make sure you tell them. Don't take anything for granted. Don't think anything is too small, right? So always make sure you're on board. And one thing that house helps do is, especially for younger kids, they want to do everything for your child. And it's not really because they love your child that much. It's just because they don't want to be stressed. Because when you leave a young child to maybe eat by themselves, they are going to make a mess, right? You leave a young child to do certain things by themselves, they are going to make a mess, which is part of development. Now, if you are not careful and you just leave your house help to constantly be helping your child, you are going to be hampering and hindering your child's development and growth. So make sure you set everything clearly, and make sure your house help knows this is what to do, this is not what to do. At this time of the day, make sure you cook lunch. By this time of the day, always make sure you onboard and you explain everything clearly to your house helper. So that's tip number 1, right? Tip number 2, try and get a house help from somebody that you know, a source that you know. Like I said, I called my mom. I didn't just go on the internet and search for house help. You can't afford to do that, especially in this day and age. You need to make sure you have a connect to that house help. So look for somebody around, your auntie, your friend, somebody, and ask, oh, who do you know? Is there an agent you know? Make sure you go through a channel that you know. Don't just pick house helps randomly. So yeah, I would stay beware of online platforms to look for house helps. I am totally against it, right? So my third tip is never leave your children or your child alone with your house help, especially when you just hired them. That is a huge no, 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 no. No matter how busy you are, your children are your priority, not your. I know, making money is important, but make sure as much as possible you do not leave your house help with your kids. And even if maybe, for example, you have to take some time off work and like work in a separate room, you need to make sure that you're constantly checking in on your child. Don't let 10 minutes go by without coming in and checking in randomly. Always make sure you are on top of it. Because the truth is, we really don't know this, house help as much. We are putting our children into their hands, and they are pretty much strangers. So we need to ensure we are constantly on it. Even if you get CCTV, if you can get a CCTV, but the truth is there are always blind spots. There are always places that the camera will not catch. So you need to put your house help on her toes or his toes and let them know that at any point in time you can check in. Never let them, think that they know your schedule, that madam or guy comes at this time, this person comes in at that time. Like, they can basically track your movement. You need to try and avoid that. Make sure that you just drop in unexpectedly, just put them on their toes so they know that at any time anything can happen, anybody can come in, right? And if you have family members around, you can also advise them to check, come in once in a while, check in, and all that. And if you can, whenever you go to work or you will not be available, if there is like your sister or your mother or somebody stays close that is at home, you can just bundle your child and their nanny and take them over to that place. So at least there is somebody watching over your child. So my fourth tip would be, always make sure you have a schedule, right? Don't just leave things into the hand of your nanny. Have a schedule. By 7 o'clock, you do this. By 8 o'clock, you do that. By 6, you have bath. Or on Mondays, for breakfast, they eat this. On Tuesday, for lunch, they eat this. Make sure everything is spelled out in little, in the minutest detail. Because at the end of the day, it's peace of mind for you. And it's also peace of mind for everybody, because we know this is what is expected at this time. And the truth is, idle hands are the devil's workshop. If your house help just has free hands, God forbid, that's when they'll get into things that they're not supposed to get into. But make sure you have a lot of activities, which is my fifth tip. Make sure there are tons of activities for your children to play with. So the fifth tip I have is to make sure you have loads of activities that your kids can engage in and play with, right? Because the truth is, idle hands are the devil's workshop. If you just leave your nanny or house help to just, wing it, at the end of the day, they might end up, God forbid, doing things that they shouldn't do. So, right? Make sure you have a lot of activities. Also, this, connects with our previous point about having a schedule. So you can be like at 5 o'clock, they do maybe their homework if they are older kids, or 5 o'clock they go outside to play, 5:30 they color, 6 o'clock they play with their building blocks. So make sure you break it down, this schedule, break it down every 30 minutes, every 1 hour. They know what, they know what they are supposed to do. If possible, if the nanny has a camera, you can give your nanny like a phone camera with a phone with a camera. They can be taking the picture every 30 minutes, every 1 hour, or doing videos, right? This is what we are doing at this time. This is what we are doing at this time. And if possible, if you have maybe your mom or your auntie or your sister or somebody living around, you can just tell them, carry them, your child and the nanny, to just take them over there, because then you are sure that at least there is somebody else watching over them, right? I pray that God will always protect and keep our children safe, but we also need to err on the side of caution. So now I'm going to move over to red flags, right? So there are some certain things that one should notice. Don't even have long discussion. Just tell the person to be going, right? Number one should notice that the nanny is constantly abusing your child, using negative words or hitting your child, even after you've told the nanny explicitly that I do not want you to hit my child or call my child by negative names and all that. And the nanny keeps doing it, then it's time for the nanny to go. And then also, sometimes, if you notice that the nanny is excessively too nice, I'm always wary of nannies that are too nice, because I don't know, I don't know if it's just me. If you feel the same way, then put a comment down there, because sometimes I feel like they are overcompensating for something, right? Because I feel like they are covering up for something. So when you just listen to your instincts, right? Your conscience will never deceive you. If in your conscience, it's not just connecting or vibing, then I would advise you to listen to your instincts and your conscience, and just tell the nanny to go right away. At the end of the day, we can only do as much as we can, right? Because the ideal situation is for us to stay at home with our kids and watch over them and raise them. But the reality is that a lot of people don't have that luxury, because, the money has to come from somewhere, right? Some people are lucky, maybe one spouse is making enough to take care of the whole family, but it's not always like that. So sometimes all hands need to be on deck. But I will appeal to every single parent out there, especially at the critical ages between 0 to, when your child is 6 or 7. As much as possible, let's try and be there as much as we can. And at the end of the day, sometimes quality over quantity. It's not about being there 24 hours in the day, but as much as you can be present, be present. Put the phone away and just be there, connecting with your child. At the end of the day, those are the things that make a huge difference, and they have a huge impact on your child's development. If you have any other tips, or you've had experiences with nannies and you like to share with us, and you like other people to learn from your experience, please share in the comment section. At the end of the day, I pray that God will always keep our children safe, and they'll grow up to be successful adults. You're doing the best you can, and I applaud you, right? It's not easy, but you're doing it, right? So thank you for watching the video to the very end. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, and feel free to share with a fellow parent. Also, somebody that's having issues with house help or is about to hire a house help, make sure you share this video with them. Till next time, my name is Adejumake. Bye for now.